The NBA in its storied history has seen a lot of dominant dynasties, and if that history is anything to go by, then we also know that the best dynasties are often championed by dynamic duos. We're talking names like MJ and Scottie Pippen at the Bulls, the Lakers Shaq and Kobe dynasty, the legendary duo of Hakeem Olajuwon and Magic Johnson, and the more recent duo of Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Now, with the San Antonio Spurs looking to build a new team around their one-man showstopper, they have turned to the experience of Chris Paul to complement the young Wemby as their new killer duo. But then, the question for most now is, how good is Chris Paul right now? Does he still have what it takes to dominate the NBA alongside Victor Wembanyama? And can they together be the NBA's new killer duo? Well, hello and a warm welcome back to your one-stop junction for the jumps, the dunks, and everything basketball. Today, we'll be taking an in-depth look at Spurs' new partnership to see if CP3 and Wemby can really become the next big problem in the NBA. Oh, and you definitely want to stick around until the end to find out the duo's new secret weapon. Now, without further ado, let's get this ball bouncing. First of all, Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama are two names that shouldn't need any introduction. Not to the basketball world, and most certainly not to any OG NBA fan. See, on the one hand, Wemby is the absolute man of the moment, the reigning Rookie of the Year, and arguably one of the most talented youngsters the NBA has seen in a while. Paul, on the other hand, is a 12-time All-Star, the point guard himself, and a player who has single-handedly topped the league for steals and assists a combined 11 times. Of course, while he may not have won a ring for any of the franchises he's played for, there's absolutely no doubt about the quality he brings to any team. I tell you what, there aren't many active point guards you could put alongside Chris Paul in his prime. And even at 39, you bet he's still got it in him. Heck, like fine wine, CP3 has only gotten better with the years, with his loads of experience making his game that bit more well-rounded. Now, there's absolutely no denying how good an acquisition he'll prove to be for the San Antonio franchise. But then the question that all Spurs fans will be hoping for a positive answer to is, 1, if their new man can reproduce the numbers he has been known to produce in each of his previous teams, and 2, if he'll be the perfect partner for their man of the moment. Well, of course, there's no guarantee that CP3 can be all these things, especially at 39. But two things we can vouch for are his adaptability and Wemby's ever-present quality. Therefore, if the two can build synergy and find that dynamic connection on the court, then folks, we might be looking at the rise of yet another dominant duo to add to the NBA's elite archives. That said, here, let's take a look at 4 excellent reasons why the two could prove to be a force to reckon with for the other teams. But before we get counting, kindly take a second to leave a like and subscribe to this channel to help us grow. This will make a huge difference to us, and in doing so, we can continue creating more new and exciting content for you guys. Now, let's get counting. Number 4, their combined playmaking and scoring abilities. Starting with the most obvious reason why this partnership could be terrifying for opposition defenses, well, the record sure does speak for itself, as long as these players are concerned. First of all, the NBA and the entire basketball world have come to acknowledge the young Victor Wembanyama for the incredible finisher he is. His incredible 7'3" height gives him a clear advantage, but his elite IQ and decisiveness around the rim are what usually make him unplayable. Last time out, the 20-year-old managed an awe-inspiring 21.4 points and 10.6 rebounds per game in what was only his rookie season, and everything is already pointing towards him bettering those numbers this season. But then, the chief indicator is the fact that he now has a proper point guard to combine with Chris Paul. Now, anybody that knows the veteran or has seen him play knows what he brings to the table and how he could well be the most creative player of his time. He's already led the league for assists a jaw-dropping 5 times, and currently ranks as the 3rd all-time best assist in NBA history. This is a player who reads the game excellently, finds spaces where no one else can, and just knows how to pick out the right passes from anywhere around the court. He could quite literally thread a needle from miles away with his passing range, and you bet the young Wemby will be getting spoiled for chances once this season. I mean, it's already difficult trying to stop Wemby on a normal day, but trying to do so when he has one of the league's best orchestrators pulling the strings from deep, that's near impossible. And bet your last penny on him coming out as one of the top scorers at the end of the regular season. Number 3, leadership and mentorship. Well, we all know how players like Wemby only get better with each season, and it's one thing we are looking forward to seeing the most. Of course, he's already the best youngster in the league and is even becoming a leadership figure for his Spurs team. But there's just no overlooking the fact that he can only get better from here, especially with an experienced baller like Chris Paul around to mentor him through to full maturity. We've already seen the veteran's leadership skill come to the forefront in previous franchises and how he automatically makes average centers look great. Now you can just imagine what the outcome will be when he takes one of the greatest talents of this generation under his wings. Tell you what, if Wemby already had a high ceiling, then it's about to get even higher. And with potential like his, you just know he's well and truly on his way to NBA dominance, the likes of which we have never seen before. Number 2, they could be headed for pick and roll dominance. Now, this one's a no-brainer, and it's another way the duo could enforce their imminent dominance in the league. We already know how the pick and roll technique has since become one of the most efficient and highly used in the game, and it even becomes more deadly when adopted by masters. Well, here's something you may not have figured out, and it's the fact that both of these ballers boast a mastery of this technique. Wemby, with his size, will definitely act as the shield before giving defenders the slip and getting a free go at the basket. It's a move we saw him execute to perfection last season, and the Spurs can expect more of the same this season. Paul's expertise will definitely ensure a more frequent use of this maneuver. His ability to create mismatches off the pick and roll will see Wemby feasting, and of course you can always trust him to make those chances count. Number 1, the defensive synergy will be legendary. If you followed the San Antonio Spurs last season, then you'll notice how they struggled in defense. Of course, the good news is that the weak defense becomes slightly more stable with Wembanyama on the team. He is the obvious defensive anchor, and his length and athleticism often give the team presence at the back. But then, it's also obvious that he needs someone to share that burden with. Perhaps someone to step up and disrupt opposition build-up plays before it matures. And Chris Paul is just the right guy. His anticipation is second to none, and his elite defensive IQ ensures he knows the accurate time to press. Oh, and this coordinated press coupled with his quick hands is the reason he has led the league in steals a whopping 6 times. Now with him forcing transitions and with Wemby protecting the rim end, the San Antonio Spurs can as well say goodbye to their defensive woes and finally embrace stability at the back. Indeed, the potential partnership of CP3 and Wemby is one that will definitely have the Spurs fans drooling in anticipation, and it's easy to see why. But then, could it be that they're expecting too much too soon from their new killer duo? Well, the prospect of having an experienced and proven baller beside Wemby should definitely be greeted by a high level of enthusiasm. Heck, if the duo can click perfectly on the court, then the San Antonio Spurs will surely have every reason to dream big. But in the meantime, we just have to watch and see if the emerging duo can rise to the occasion and dominate the NBA. So, there you have it, folks. Now, what's your take on the new Spurs combo? Do you think Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama have what it takes to become the next killer duo in the NBA? And if so, do you see the San Antonio Spurs capitalizing on it to finally make it to the playoffs? Do let us know your opinions in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more exciting videos about your favorite NBA teams.